Well, folks, the news just keeps on swinging in the world of professional wrestling. I do not remember a time the last 20 years where this has been so much excitement in the world of professional wrestling all over the place. And most of it is coming from ex-WWE guys' exodus. And we heard about CM Punk. It looks like it's a fait accompli. Bryan Danielson, a fait accompli. All of a sudden, Bray Wyatt gets released. You know that part. The breaking news, folks. We appear to know that Bray Wyatt, formerly known as Bray Wyatt, is going to go with his actual name. And if you didn't know, he is the offspring of IRS, Mike Rotunda. And his uncle is Barry Windham. And as anyone knows, Barry Windham is one of my favorite four horsemen ever. And they were actually a really great tag team before they went their separate ways and had actually much bigger careers. In fact, they lost the tag team titles at the very first WrestleMania to the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Little fun fact there. But anyway, fact remains, the youngest of the Wyndham Rotunda group, which is Bray Wyatt, but Wyndham Rotunda is his real name. He changed his name on Twitter officially to the Wyndham Rotunda, at the Wyndham Rotunda. And his Twitter handle, which is amazing, says Cult of Wyndham coming soon. And I know everyone's going to call bullshit, but I don't care. I'm one of my creeds is honesty. I actually thought today, you know what? Wyndham would be a pretty cool name for a bad dude. And Barry Windham, to most wrestling fans, is probably not a common enough name. For me, Barry Windham was a member of the Four Horsemen. Barry Windham was low-grade main event, top-grade mid-card. Pretty much his entire career, was a fantastic wrestler until, he went back to the WWE. But he had some really, really great matches, some great stories he told. And obviously, we know IRS and former tag team champion and Hall of Famer and all that. So he's going to go with Cult of Wyndham. So that is the breaking news. Wyndham is going to be Bray Wyatt. What will Wyndham bring? Is he going to bring the Firefly Funhouse back a little bit? Is he going to bring maybe the old school Max Mercy inspired character? Is he possibly going to bring back a Fiend type character? Well, I don't know what the Cult of Wyndham is, but I like it. And for anybody who was sad or angry with WWE doesn't do anything that makes sense anymore. Outside of the Roman Reigns bubble, there ain't shit going on. If you're within that bubble, you're doing okay right now. Mysterios are doing okay. The Usos are doing okay. We'll see how Edge and Seth Rollins go. So far, meh. What's WWE doing right now? What are you excited about? You excited about Goldberg and Bobby Lashley? Is that what you're excited about? So WWE, it's a god complex almost for Vince McMahon. It's as if I think he was being completely honest. Earlier in the week, he said he does not look at AEW as a threat. And then he made a little jar that maybe they could have some more of our people. Well, shit. Vince McMahon takes people from everywhere all the time. When I listen to WWE guys say, oh, they're just WWE rejects. Oh, why do they always have to get ex-WWE guys? Well, where the fuck do you want them to go? AEW is going to pay them more, and they're going to be able to get their brand out more. It's just beyond me. What, are they just supposed to be like, okay, well, I can't do what I want to do here, so I just got to stay here? But, come on. No. The release of Bray Wyatt, I think it comes down to quite a number of things. And the first thing, it's not budget cuts. They're going to say budget cuts all they want. You got budget cuts, but you're still putting fucking Baron Corbin on TV every week? You got budget cuts? What happened is they fucked this guy over after he built two all-time great characters. He literally, I couldn't believe this. because I really love the original Bray Wyatt character. He comes back with a better character. That Firefly Funhouse stuff was hilarious. It told a story. It was brilliant. And then on the other side, he's a zombie monster who can't be beaten. And then... here we go. And then it was over, folks. The beginning of the fucking end. Now, let's not make any mistake. When the Fiend jobbed to the Goldberg within 3 minutes, I said, that is fucked. They obviously don't respect what this guy has built, and that's the beginning and the end, and they buried him. And I heard expert after expert after expert, Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray, or Devon's friend, who, by the way, I love the fuck out of him. He's nothing but respect to him. But he and Dave LaGreca, not to be confused with the great Don LaGreca from the Michael K. Show, but he and Dave LaGreca said, us fans didn't get it. They didn't get what they were doing. It was a good move putting Goldberg over. It was a bad move. It was a terrible move. It was the beginning of the end as we know it as the Fiend. And that is exactly what happened. It's not the first time the WWE did that with Goldberg, and certainly will not be the last. But this was something different because it was a young, up-and-coming star who was getting into his own, building a character. The first time they ever had a character that even came close to the kind of mystique The Undertaker had. And then... This noise is the death of creativity. This noise is the death of a professional wrestler practicing his craft to the full extent. This music, this sound was the death of Bray Wyatt, the beginning of the death of Bray Wyatt as we know him. And if you didn't know now, you need to pay more attention. This is Silicon Steve Valley. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get laid. Like, all right, I'll be with my wife, and I'm like, hey, baby, so, trying to get some action today? What do you think? And she's all feeling, yeah, baby, I'm feeling it. And then... fuck! Goldberg fucking cucks me out, and then he spears me, and then jackhammers me, and then bangs my wife. That's at least how Vince Russo would have booked it. Speaking of Vince Russo. But anyway, I just wanted to gloat. And I also wanted to take a time for all the people that are angry that that Bray Wyatt left, and all the people that are really pissed off, and everyone that's shocked and angry, and I don't know why you would be shocked by anything that this company does. But if for some reason you were shocked, fucking pay attention. But if you're angry, don't be angry. This is like, literally, and I'm going to make this equation. I'm gonna make this analogy. Back in, I think, the late 80s, Neil Young was signed to a record company. I don't know the exact story. But anyway, long story short, the record company said, you have to play this way. That song, this song, that song that you love and you think are your best songs, you can't put on your album because it doesn't sound good enough. Or you have to get a producer in here to change the song because we don't like it. When you have a talent like Bray Wyatt, you have to let him perform his art. You have to let him perform his craft. You have to let him spread his wings. And the guy, I don't think it's fully understandable how good this guy can be and how much of a genius this guy can be. Because not only did he create 2 generational characters, 3 if you count the Fiend. Yeah, I count that as the one, though. The Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse, I count that as one version. Yin yang, so to speak. He did that, and he got over, and he was brilliant, and he captivated people, and he did it within the WWE creative vortex, within that shit vortex that you can't get any good ideas in. And it's frustrating. I mean, how many long tales do we hear about a former wrestler from WWE say how terrible the creative process is, and how much they hate it, and how much they get stressed out about it? That's all you hear over there. It's all you hear. So do not be sad for Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt wanted this. Bray Wyatt wanted to die. And now we are born into the cult of Wyndham.